Good morning, good evening and good afternoon, ladies and gents, and welcome back to AS2. So this is a little bit of a tutorial on the spawn mod, aka cheats mod, which is something that has been highly requested by people on the Steam workshop page. So first of all, I'll be going through very quickly why I have done what I've done so far on spawn menu, how to download it from the Steam workshop and activate it, how to use a menu in-game and its limitations, how to add the menu to custom missions, and why the spawn menu doesn't spawn units from other mods. Now, after that, if there's still time in the video, then I will go through a 3-step process that I want everyone to go through if they have problems with this mod. If you go through this 3-step process and then you leave that 3-step, well, the answers to that 3-step process down in the comments, my ability to troubleshoot your situation is going to be made 100 times easier. I cannot express how much someone saying to me, my game has crashed or this mod doesn't work. I cannot express how unhelpful that is. I am not telekinetic, I am not a mind reader, I am not watching your game. I don't know what's happened to your game. So if you follow these 3 steps, that will make my life 100 times easier in working out why your game has crashed and what is going wrong with your game. Now, to start off with, what I've done to spawn menu, how to download it from Steam Workshop, and how to activate it. So, from the main AS2 Workshop page, I will go ahead and type spawn menu into the search bar, and there it is, absolutely number 1. Go ahead and click on it, and as you see, I've already done it, but it will have a box here where you can click subscribe and you will get the tick marker on subscribed and it will start downloading. I highly recommend you do this while the game is not running. If you do it while the game is not running, the likelihood is that even if you downloaded it, you'll have to restart the game for the game to mount it. That is a problem I see with many people trying to download new mods. They have the game running already, like I do now, and they click subscribe and then they complain that the mod doesn't show up. The mod doesn't load into the game. The game loads with mods that are already there. So if you download a new mod, you have to restart your game for it to be there. Now, we find ourselves in a completely blank, completely vanilla AS2 menu. You want to go ahead to your options, to your mods. Now, I will jump ahead on these things because I have so many that it takes quite a while to load. And you will see I have a metric arse ton of mods. But you want to navigate your way all the way down to the S's. And you will find spawn menu 0.5. Click the little arrow across and apply and wait for it to complete. And that is literally it. That is how you download the spawn menu from the Steam Workshop and activate it. Now, I am fully aware that it says cheatsmod 4.96 there. I am fully aware of that. You do not need to continuously tell me that it says that in the main screen. I am fully aware. This is still cheatsmod, okay? It is still cheatsmod. The only stuff I have done is change the name, change the description of the mod, and updated the mod to work with the current version. That is all I have done to this mod. Now, the reason I have done what I have done with spawn menu is because the original dev, known as White Snoop, did not have time anymore to keep the mod updated, I believe due to college or university commitments. Now, at that time, I myself was very busy in my life, and I also didn't have time to be doing anything in relating to making mods in the workshop community, okay? I did not have the time at all. This is where the re-upload of cheatsmod came from, okay? Now, that garnered loads of attention, and full thumbs up to them, okay? They did something that I wasn't able to do in my life. However, that person has now also not been able to keep the mod updated due to his own personal situation, which I won't go into. If you know about it, you know about it. If you don't, well, you won't know. So, I went ahead and I updated cheatsmod and I re-uploaded it. Okay, I have been there from the start of cheatsmod. I just want to keep this mod going in the community. Okay, the reason it still says cheatsmod down here is because the version that I am making with 2 friends of mine who are a lot better modders than me is having to be wrote from the ground up, because the style of scripting and coding that White Snoop used in his original mod is very, very confusing to us. So we're just starting it again and hoping that by doing that we can fix a lot of the problems the mod has at the moment. Now, point number 2, how to use the menu in game and its limitations. Very simple. Go ahead and press single player, select your mission. I'm going to go to the Commonwealth. I will point out that you cannot use this mod in the DLC missions, okay? It will crash them, and I will explain why later on in the video. So, ladies and gents, we find ourselves in game, and if you're interested to know where the cheats mod or spawn menu is, it's down here to the right hand side, just below where all your points are. Now, this very well may have happened. Okay, it happens very easily and it happens all the time. Okay, again, the reason why this says cheats mod and not spawn menu is because changing things like that are not our priority. Our priority is getting this mod recoded and reworked to work with the RobZ version of AS2. That is our priority, not changing little things like that. So, click cheats mod, and we have 3 settings: spawn, cheat, and settings. So, if we go ahead into the spawn menu, we have ourselves infantry, tanks, artillery, airplanes, and the support menu. Now, personally, I don't ever use planes, but they're there if you want to. And in the infantry, you can spawn single units, or you can spawn group units. Now, this is pretty damn important not to touch, okay? Now, the flag icon is fine, okay? You can change whatever country you want to spawn your units as, absolutely fine and dandy, that's no problem, okay? I highly recommend you do not touch the set player. I highly recommend you do not touch it. Auto assign will give your spawned items the player assignment that you are, okay? So the likelihood is that the enemy is usually set to player 1 or 0, and that you are either set to player 0 or 1, the opposite of whatever the enemy is. So if the enemy is player 0, then you are player 1, and vice versa, okay? Now what happens is when you get AI controlled friendly units like this, they will most likely be set to another number of like 3 or 4 or something like that. In the game settings of the mission settings, the mission maker can then assign whether player 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, whatever it is friendly to whoever they want to be. So they can decide whether player 1 is friendly to player 0 or enemy to player 0. They can decide whether player 2 is friendly to player 1 or enemy to player 0. They can decide how that works. So if you end up doing this and you set yourself to player 1 or player 2 or player 3 or whatever, you're going to spawn units that are not necessarily under your control. Okay, so auto assign means they will always be under your control. Now in the support menu we have ammo, we have our standard explosions, we have a wonderful artillery barrage which is very, very useful and quite nicely set up if I'm honest. And there's a little example of a 32-bit game engine that can't handle what's going on. And then, of course, we have mines, which, you know, they're just mines. Now, obviously, a major part of the spawn menu and the cheats mod are the cheats. Now, I must express, and I can't express enough, how important this is. These do not always work, okay? They have never been 110% foolproof. They do break sometimes, okay? They just do. So health and armor is obviously going to make your guys invincible. Infinite ammo is just going to mean they don't need to reload. Fuel and stamina, it means they can just keep the vehicles can keep driving and the men can keep sprinting for however long you want them to. Aim range is simply put, if you have a tank or like an artillery piece here and their range say only reaches to that house, aim range will allow them to reach as far as they can see. So it gives them mega amounts of distance. I don't actually know what the limitation on them is, because I have had artillery pieces at the start of a map that have used aim range and been able to shoot to the back of the map. So I have no idea what the actual aim or the actual range expansion on them is, but it's huge. And well, insta-kill is self-explanatory. Again, these do not always work. Now, the settings menu can be very helpful to you. Again, I would not touch this because you can really mess yourselves up with how the mod actually works. The plane height I have found useful if like there's trees or buildings around or something where the planes are coming in. You can just raise up their height to make sure they don't crash into them. Now, point number 3 of this video, how to add the menu to custom missions. Now, I will leave a section of code in the description below for you to copy and paste into your missions. So, if you have a custom mission, and I'm going to go ahead and enable a custom mission onto my game right now. Now, I have gone ahead and enabled Bloodwinter, which is a wonderful mission by the one and only Wigger. And I will show you that if we go ahead and load up Bloodwinter. So we are in Bloodwinter, and as you can see on the bottom right hand side, there is no panel for the spawn menu. It is not there. So let's go ahead and add it. Now, as you can see in the mod, in the activated mods, we have Bloodwinter and we have spawn menu. That is it. That's all we have enabled. Now, I have gone into the game files of my Men of War AS2. I'm going to go ahead and go into the mods folder, where you will see how apocalyptically messy my mods folder is because of the sheer amount of mods I have in there. I'm going to go ahead and find Bloodwinter. Go into the resource folder, and we can see here that they are all in pack files. Now, various modders pack their missions in various different ways. Now, this is very simple and very easy for us to solve. So, I'm going to find the map.pack. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to open it with WinRAR. You can use 7-zip or whatever you want to use. We find ourselves with a map folder, and we can drag that on out to give ourselves a map folder. Now, this is extremely important. If the map folder is packed, then you need to go ahead and delete the packed map. Okay? Because even if you make edits to this folder, the packed version of the map is the one that the game will read from. The game will always read from packed files before it reads from folders. So we're going into the map folder, the single folder, Bloodwinter, Battle of Moscow. Again, different modders structure their mods in different ways, but you are always looking for this kind of a folder in the end. And it will vary depending on how complex or simple the mission is. Now, what we are looking for is not this notepad file. What we are looking for is the .mi file. Now, sometimes this is named 0, sometimes it's named 1, sometimes it's named other things, but it is key that you find the .mi file. Now, I'm going to go ahead and open this with Notepad++. You can open it with Notepad or any other kind of notepad you have. And what we're going to want to do is go all the way down to the bottom, and you need to find this little tag here. This is very, very important. So we want cheatsmod to be the last thing that loads. I know I keep on calling it cheatsmod and not spawn menu because it is cheatsmod. I've just renamed it as spawn menu to be more internet friendly because the internet clamps down on anything with the word cheat in it. So we want the spawn menu to be the last thing that loads when this mission loads. So we want to find this closing bracket and then go back 1. Now, sometimes it says fog 1 here, sometimes it doesn't. But again, we want to be just before the last closing bracket. Now, you want to go ahead and type in the following line of code. Again, this will be down in the description below. Open bracket, include, then you want your quotation marks, which I just had trouble finding. And then you want a /map /cheatsmod. Now, we haven't changed this specifically so that we don't encounter problems and you don't encounter problems. /cheats.mi. No, I don't want that. Close your brackets or close your quotation marks, I should say, and close your brackets. That is the line of code that you want to add to your game. That line specifically. Then you want to go ahead and save the mission and just go back into the game. Now, I'd just like to add, it's very important that you reboot the game. There is a possibility that just exiting out the mission, changing it, saving it, and going back into the mission will not work. I highly recommend that you reboot your entire game if you make this kind of a change to a mission. And there we go, ladies and gents. We are back in Bloodwinter, and by adding that line of code to the mission file, here we have the spawn menu. Now we can go ahead and let's change our country to the Soviet Union, and let's go ahead and, I don't know, let's add in some T-34s, and voila, like that, it's working in a workshop mission. Now, point number 4 that I wanted to make in this video: why doesn't this menu spawn units from other mods? Very simple and very easy for me to answer. Okay, this mod does not have flexible coding. This mod is what's called hard coded, and as it says in the name, hard coding doesn't adjust to things. So it doesn't matter whether you load up a World War I mod, it doesn't matter whether you load up a Cold War mod, a Star Wars mod, a modern day mod. Even if you are fighting, I don't know, Challenger 2s and Abrams and, I don't know, modern Russian tanks or an Armata or something like that, you will still only be able to spawn World War II stuff. Okay, each one of these items, when you click on it, each one of these items is coded to the location of that tank in the game's vanilla files. It will not just change because you add another mod or a different mod to like overhaul the game into the game. It won't change. It's hard coded. Okay, I hope that clears that up once and for all. You cannot spawn anything but vanilla units from the spawn menu. When we recreate and finish recoding spawn menu to work with the RobZ files and the RobZ units, then this spawn menu will spawn RobZ compatible vanilla units. Until then, you can only spawn vanilla units, and you can't change like the camo or the clothes or anything like that either. Okay, that's just how it works. It's also the reason why if you try and play this mod with RobZ and you spawn the unit in, it will only, like a tank or an infantryman will only be able to fire one magazine of their weapon. A tank will only be able to fire the round that is already in their chamber. The reason for that is that RobZ uses different ammo to the vanilla game, okay? And the vanilla ammo doesn't work in RobZ vehicles, and the RobZ ammo doesn't work in vanilla vehicles. So you will find yourself with a tank that maybe has a vanilla round in the chamber, but all of the rounds in its inventory will be RobZ ammo, and that is the reason why it can't shoot. Because to the tank, those rounds don't exist because it's not looking for them. I hope that clears that up as best as I possibly can. Now I'm back on the vanilla game menu, and I want to take you through the 3-step troubleshooting guide that I want you to use if you are having trouble with this mod in the game. Okay, this is how I want you to tell me that your game is not working. So number 1, I want to know the message that appears when the game crashes. If you can screenshot it and then upload the screenshot to somewhere and give me that link, even better. A screenshot of the error message would be absolutely amazing. Point number 2, I want to know what you were doing when it crashed. I want to know what mods or what unit you were spawning. I want to know what cheats you had enabled. I want to know what you were doing when it crashed, okay, and what the game was doing. So was there loads of explosions and you tried to spawn a unit? That kind of thing. And number 3, I want to know what mission you were playing and what mods you had running. That is incredibly important because this mod can conflict with other mods and cause the game to just crap itself and crash. It can happen. So that is the 3-step guide. I will have it written up on the screen for you right now. That is the 3-step guide I want you to follow if you comment down below that your game is not working. If you don't use that guide, I'm just not going to help you because it's too much work to try and find out why your game is not working. If you use that guide, it will make it 100 times easier for me to tell you why your game is not working. Now, last but not least, I want to point out that this game is not perfect. It's far from perfect. It has many, many bugs and many issues that are never going to be fixed because the devs of this game have already moved on to their new games. Okay, they've already moved on. The only stuff they ever add to this game is DLC, which is just usually retextured missions that they've done in previous games. Okay, the devs have moved on. The issues and bugs in this game are not going to be fixed. They are not going anywhere. Okay, the game also does randomly crash from time to time for absolutely no reason. Okay, in the dev community, or not in the dev community, in the modding community, we just call this an AS2 crash. Okay, because it will be a crash for absolutely no reason. You could be doing all kinds of things, or you could be doing absolutely nothing, and the game will just crash for 0 reasons. Again, it's a bug and an issue with the game that is never going to be fixed. Okay, another major limitation this game has is that it's still running on a 32-bit engine. Okay, that is never going to change because the devs are completely against it. It will never change. So if you try and push this game too hard and try and do too much, and the game limits out at its 3 gigs of RAM limit, and you try and keep on doing more, the game's going to crash because it's going to run out of memory to be able to do anything. That's just what happens with a 32-bit engine. Okay, I really do hope that I have helped you out with this video. If you need me to go into any more detail with any part of this video, please leave a clear comment down below in the comment section, and I will do my very best to help you. Okay, I will have notifications on this video turned on, so anyone who comments on this video it will notify me on YouTube and pop up as a notification, and I will do my very, very best to help you. Okay? Thank you very much for your support with this mod so far. I cannot believe that we're already over 1,300 subscribers on the Steam Workshop page. It is absolutely insane. Again, I will do my very, very best to help you,